save his house. But Doug's been offered a job close to Pittsburgh, working back with the kind of like the private jail system. So I think he's going to be here maybe next Monday, but this will be his last time with us. So, and Nancy is out. She texted a few minutes ago and said she was out of town. But you know, I guess at some point we'll have to look at. He has too much time to go to appoint somebody. So we got to hold an election, and the amount of time that takes. I think 5 or 6 weeks to do everything that has to be, 9 months, I'm sorry, to do everything that has to be done, the qualifying and whenever we want to start, which he runs through this month, so I guess it would start in June, to figure from June forward, you know, but something we need to think about, and you know, I wish it was where we could appoint somebody, but we can't. It's just too much time left, so it's going to have to be a special election. He wanted to tell you himself, and I'm sure he'll see y'all again, that he will be leaving sometime toward the end of the month, I believe. They're packing up, getting ready to go, or he is. But we'll talk about that more in the election next meeting. But y'all all have the minutes in there from the last planning session, the call meeting, and the last meeting. There should be 3 sets in there for you to look over between now and next Monday to see if y'all are in agreement with those. And I think I've got to move along here when we get off. We've got a lot of minutes here. Let me see. Okay, the first thing on the SPLOST referendum, this Frank Murphy got this to me, and I'd just like for y'all to review it, and at the next meeting I'll sign it and get it back to Mr. If y'all are in agreement, the amounts are good, and yeah, I'll sign it and get it back to him. As y'all know, he's asked for everybody to have them back to him by May, and we will. Next we'll vote on it next Monday and get that back to Mr. Frank. And I just wanted to talk to y'all a minute about these tax collections. I really can't say how much we've taken in, but I've had a lot of people come in with these letters, and it kind of scared them, you know. But it's not meant to do that, and I actually didn't know exactly what it was going to say until I saw one myself. But everybody that's came in that's paid them, I know one day, and girls, y'all can correct me, y'all, if I'm wrong, but I think we took in $12,000. Another day we took in close to 20, and we're still taking it in today. And there's a lot of taxes out there. I would just make an estimate, and I might be off, but I would say somewhere between 50 to 70 so far since we started about 2 weeks ago.
At least.
Yeah, you know, that we've gotten, and I've even went so far, you know, the thing says by May the 25th, and there was just an example. There was one gentleman that came here last Friday, and he knew that he hadn't paid him, but he said he thought they were coming out of his escrow, and realized they weren't. So, but he said he couldn't pay them all at one time, and so we made up a payment plan, and he will stick by that, and I know he will. But really, I haven't had anybody that's just one. I think one person came in mad, but he left pretty quick. But you know, we'll work it out. Is what I'm trying to say. It's just I'll talk with anybody that wants to talk about it, and nobody's been ugly except this one person, and he exited the front door pretty quick. But other than that, they're coming in, and I'm gonna give them a while. I mean, I'm not. They thought they were going to be kicked out of their houses and all that, but no, that's not going to happen. It's just something that we need to do, and they agree, and most of them agree they didn't pay them. So it's not really a lot to that, but anyway, it's you know, it was pretty hot that first week or two, but it slowed down a lot. And on the 911 things, I just wanted to bring that up again. If you don't know the number of your house, or what it should be, call 911 and they can tell you what number should go on your house. You know, Don Powell, our new inspector, is saying that so many houses don't have numbers, and you really need those where the fire department can find you. You know, if something goes, you know, if you need them, they can't find you if you don't have the numbers on your house. You know, so that was put into effect a long time ago, but I know a lot of new people moved in, maybe didn't know it, but I'm trying to get the word out. He is too, leaving them notes at their house to get their 911 numbers, but if you don't know it, just call 911 and they'll tell you what it is. And,
we using the same company for the taxes. And we started off with the same company.
yes, it was just a follow-up from him, yes. So,
Now,
his
only thing I would add to the taxes, Ms. Vicky, is we provided them a list in like February. So if you paid your taxes since February, your name, you might have got a letter, but you paid your taxes, but it was February when we sent them the list. So they're going off a February list and not an April list.
Yeah, some of us bought the receipts when they paid them, and we take them right off. You know, if they paid them, you know, they bring us proof and we take them right off. We're just trying to reduce that list by the end of the year, I hope, before, that's about when I figure I'll get it back to him. Cause I know he wants me to deal with it as long as possible, and I will.
Just be mindful, there is a time frame
Yeah, there is.
on all that, as far as the timeline.
Yeah, and
I think we're gonna eliminate a lot of names off the list.
Yeah.
This first go around will eliminate a lot of the initial names like we had on the list, and then after that, we'll have more, these people really do owe.
How far back are we going? Oh, here we go.
7 years, 7
I think
years.
2017.
Yeah. Just trying to get the audit.
Are we, also updating the water bills? You know, when I left that department, we still had some people who were in the $1,000 range behind.
So I don't think we have any of that anymore.
Okay.
I don't think we have any super delinquents, but, we do have some delinquents, but people now are like, hey, I need that promise to pay thing. I called and checked on my bill. They ask us about the promise to pay list, and they get on it and they know, like, hey, I wanna put myself on a budget to get this paid. So it's not quite as bad, but the new issue we're having is just the water. But today we received 38 water bills from February back that we mailed out in February, but they came back to us today in April, that people never got.
Did those people still come pay their bills or not?
We just got them in the mail today, we didn't check all of them, but
Yeah.
those are February's bills.
Right.
Glenville told us that they just got their December bills back. The bills they mailed to their customers in December, they just got theirs back in the mail like 2 weeks ago.
And I think we all realize that's not only happening with water bills, it's happening with all kinds of bills. I know mine's being slowed down, my stuff, water just slowed down coming in, it's happening everywhere, and it is a problem.
Yeah, we're mitigating in the office by hand delivering what we can. Child support, stuff that's got time frame on it, we hand deliver everything.
And, each of y'all, if you have been given a copy yet, you should have a copy of the finished 22-23 audit. And, we provided answers to every finding before we left that day, and we will follow up and do everything to clear up what they found wrong. It's also on the website for any of y'all. All the audits should be 22-23, all of them on there now, because we downloaded them last week onto the city website. And also, we'll be starting, very soon, we'll be starting the 23-24, you know, as well as what we're doing now. We've handed out, we'll get to that in a minute, but.
Are we using that same company that helped us in this type? Are we using them again for the 23?
Yes.
It's an ongoing with
Oh,
them?
yeah, these people.
They signed a contract? Or how we doing
Yes, they'll sign a contract each year with
Every
me. They
time.
sign a contract,
Every
and they'll sign another one whenever we get ready to do 23-24. But we're saving a lot of money, and I tell you, since I've recommended them, I guess, I mean, people's heard, I've gotten letters from other mayors really wanting to know, do they really do this, were they really that good, did they just charge you that? I said, yes. Actually, they were cheaper by thousands than what we were paying.
By tens of thousands.
Unreal. And, these people actually came here, we didn't have to send them nothing. And so,
Have we finished up with, Matthew, now? We done?
far as
We
I
don't
know,
owe them, they don't owe us,
we don't know Matthew anything, we still gotta pay Leanne some, and the other, the company that did the budget part, I've sent them an agreement, and they've agreed we pay them $10,000 a month at that.
Quarter.
For, yeah, quarter, I'm sorry, a quarter.
Pay that to them
Yeah.
To the bookkeeping company,
Right.
that took
now? Who's
that,
doing the bank reconciliations and all that now?
They are as of right now.
They are, okay.
but we will be soon taking all of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
There'll be some change on
Okay.
that this next go around, yeah.
Question,
Yes,
the audit figures that for each department that was seen, is that based upon what you all, thinking going forward with their budgets?
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
talking about
So
budget
budget,
sheets.
is that budget to actual right there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, it's budget to actual, so the
With
new
the
budget.
markup.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, so was that, I mean, is that actual, what is it, have you given it an increase?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
It have.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm gonna get to that in just a few minutes. I was just wanting to say, yeah, I do plan as long as I'm here. These guys were awesome. We paid the main guy, the company, right off. His total bill was $18,500, which is way less than what we normally pay. And, and then the other girls were $8,000. I mean, that was it. I mean, I couldn't believe it. And, but anyway, and then just to show you an example, Leanne's is $37,000. So, and so far that, we're gonna set up payments with her as well, but we'll pay her, but,
I think it was long overdue,
yeah,
for the audit,
yeah.
because, yeah.
It's a new number bunch, and they're real quick, and they're so energetic.
Automated.
Yeah.
Fully automated.
They work 24 hours a day. They have a crew here in the day, and then another crew would pick up when they,
Yeah.
at 7 at night, and when we came back the next morning, they had already,
Most auditors
Yeah.
do,
I mean, it was just,
Come
it's
to you.
impressive, yeah.
when you have the whole stuff, and then most auditors do come to you. That's why they're able to focus and get through quicker, because the stuff, they're there and the stuff is here.
They just have the manpower. They were able to bring 3 and 4 people in.
Yeah, and then, like I said, we had
12 days
and we can't believe
Nice.
it.
It was amazing.
Well, we talked about that anyway, about we needed to change auditors,
Change
right
auditors.
there, we couldn't do that,
Yeah.
that wasn't a good time to make that
It's
change.
we got a different layer, it was a good time. I mean, because it was, I guess, a different, I'm just saying that when I saw the other company and how slow, it just wasn't going fast enough for me for what they called for, and they should have already done what they asked for, so anyway, that was my reason behind it. But yeah, I plan to use them as long as I'm here. On the new business, you got the street, the only reason this is in there on the street updates, these things might be a little out of order, I apologize, this was last minute. This is what I'm talking about, the GDOT. One street we changed because it's already paid, and we added Lucas Street, and that was Rodney's decision after looking at the ones on the list, and that's why Lucas is on here. These can still be changed, if anybody thinks there's some worse than this, we got the money's been approved and all that for it. And, so whenever it gets time to start doing it, those are the 4, that's why Lucas is written in there.
And we wanna make mention about what she's saying is that, we had LMIG, and then Tia gave an extra free amount that didn't need a match, and we got that too, for everybody to understand.
Well, Lucas is a harbor street, and the county was keeping it, for us, the food truck couldn't go down, so that's why, Lucas is harbor.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see, on the zoning ordinance, that's just something we were talking about. We've been talking a lot about mobile homes and different things, and Dawn's been out doing a lot of putting tags and notices on people's houses that are real dilapidated and all of that, and they're coming, there's some things that we need to change in our zoning, which, I wanted to have a chance to do that and then give it to y'all and see if you agree, but it hasn't been updated in a good while, and we had the city manager from Glenville come today and really enlighten us on a few things that they're doing over there that we did not know about, and especially with the subdivision we've got coming in, and they've already gotten 1 done and 2 more to come. So he was real helpful, and Don's gonna go spend a couple of days with them and watch them as they go through the process, which will help a lot whenever it gets time for us to do ours over here. So we're all kind of learning together, and as we learn, we'll make the changes that we need to make, and if y'all agree to the actual zoning, but it does need to be updated, and, and I'll certainly be working on that.
Mayor, can you send me a copy of what you got with that, too, so I can look at it? Thank you.
Yeah.
Here on what, James Street here, going down, I think, just below the post office there. There's a house there that is, the weeds about as tall as the house. You wouldn't even notice that there was a house. Is that on the list?
James Street, I
Is it James or college? You talking about?
Now, college is over here by the fire department.
Oh, I thought you were talking about that house on the corner.
No, I'm talking about right here on, that's James, coming down from the post office, right?
I'm sure.
Straight across.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there, there's a house that's up in there, you can't even tell that it's a house in there, because the yards are grown up, so.
Well, there was the house right up here, right by the Baptist church, it was all right up, the trees all over.
that's the one, remember, that she had a call up here crying and
Yeah,
waiting.
I took a call, but yeah, I talked to her several times, but Don put a note on her door, and I told my husband, he said, there's not a house by that church. I said, yes,
Yes,
there is.
there
He
is.
said, no, there's just trees there. I said, you really gotta look, there's one up
Yes,
there.
it is.
My grandparents owned it at one time,
But,
yeah.
but she called with all kind of excuses,
Yeah.
but she did get to work on it, and they made some progress, but that's gonna take major work in that yard, because it didn't get that way overnight, but, she promised that she would chip away at it as she could, and she's just kinda, I said, well, if you had a fire, we couldn't get to you.
Right.
There's no way we could get in there, I mean,
Right.
you can't even get there, but, she's been hard to find anybody to take on that work, and I can understand it, but there's a lot of places like that, but we're trying to get to them.
And even right there on Lord Street, right, they on Margaret Tidwell's property.
Okay.
That, the bushes or whatever, they grow into the road. And, it's almost like you can't get over when the cars come in because, all that debris goes all the way across the front of that house there.
I'll look at that.
Okay.
And when it would be good if we had an update too, I was just.
I've got an updated.
You got an
list.
update?
I've got an updated list I can get you.
Don's probably got some he can add to it, because he's
Right.
putting those notices out all the time, and I hear from him, but yeah, he's putting them out there.
Cause I was thinking about him,
Well, I don't,
And
it's got a
out
copy
here.
of our list.
you know, I hear this too,
Yeah.
over there, the homes, like,
That's
Have they gotten that, I mean, it's
I
not.
don't, I see him adding stuff, but I haven't seen anything lately.
The only one that I gave you the information on last time, on the back side as well, along the street. That's the two that I gave you before.
I'm sure you did, I'll look at my notes.
Okay, y'all can have a handout there on the meter survey. Somewhere, let's see what else I got.
And what is that about? The meter survey?
Yeah, let me get to it just a second.
You know, running in.
Here we go, just a second, I'll give it to you. Stuff's on me.
You want me to start with it?
Stuff's on me, stuff, just a second. I got this page, so I got the other one. I don't have the other page. I got this one.
You got it?
Anyway, it's the one that, what's this guy's name? Brian and the other guy. Kurt. Yeah, they came, that other sheet is the one I don't have, but y'all have it, it's got the numbers on it. They wanted it to, they want to come and put these little, I don't know what you call them. I don't know if they're things you, solar things or things they, meter things they put somewhere to,
GPS points?
GPS points? Yeah, that kind of, to actually kind of, the even amount that they'll do it for, I don't have it, I think it's $3,200, is that it? Whatever it is,
You got two sheets in this. It's this.
Yeah, I don't have that here. Okay, that's it. Yeah, this was just where they were showing us what they would do, what they would need to do, and I think it came to $3,200, and, let's see the prices on this sheet, I'm not sure.
Is this Brian that we've been using for?
Yeah, and, it'll give us a clear reading on how bad all our readings are on,
We ordered the 10 sample meters, you know, the sailors, the
Yeah.
new ones,
Yeah.
we ordered those. And so we wanna give them a trial at 10 random places.
Yeah, and it'll pick up more
this the same thing that, he told us he can incorporate our, EPA or EPD requirements for the lead pipe and copper pipe and all that stuff?
I think we're done with that part, I think
thought
Rodney has, I think that's what Rodney was telling us.
That's what I was gonna, he was,
I think Rodney has the gist of that done.
Rico was supposed to.
Yeah, I think Rodney has the gist of that done. This is speaking to having cellular endpoints. Like, right now we have, the, digital.
Right.
And this is just to change the exchange out and just try 10 meters in random places that y'all choose. And then it comes with an application, and say we put one on your house. Then you could see how much it's using on your cell phone. We don't have to monitor that for you. You can monitor it for yourself. And then you know at the end of the month what your bill is gonna be roughly, or how much usage you have each month.
Right. I thought he told us though that he could incorporate all that other
They can do that as well.
into this, and I thought that's when he gave us that price, that's what he had included was our survey that's required, what is it, by October, it's gotta be completed, and I thought in his price, he told us that means.
Don't remember, Don, I could ask.
I don't remember specifically, but I don't think so. I believe that when we went back to Rodney with it, Rodney said that he's identified his service lines already. We just have to have it put on the mapping system, but the service lines are identified. We just need to put it on the mapping. Now, this company can help us do that as well, but this is for us to look at the meters that we currently have. Let's dig some of these meters out, let's see the shape of it, let's see where we are with them right now. Before we try to put new meters down, let's see what we got, what's going on with what we got. And that's what
He offered that service one time before, I remember now what you're saying. Is he still doing data profiles?
He does.
As needed.
As needed. Like, for every meter we have to go check, he might do 5% data profile on. So this is just to see where our meters are, to dig them out and see where they are, what conditions they are in, before we undertake a big project, like putting new ones in the ground.
You see that? Yeah, he did a survey. Right there.
Yeah, the next, if they're not even present with that, the next one is just the memorandum of understanding that we have with the county about our roads. And it's just, that it needs to be signed by the mayor and updated, to keep it current, and y'all look over and see if you wanna add or if anything needs to be taken out, but this is the way the MOU stands now. And, before I sign it next week and get it back, everyone will come and ask us, everybody has to do it, it's just time to do it, and before I sign it, y'all can look over it, and nothing's changed, I don't think, since the last time it was signed, I just wanna,
Except we won't need them to do Lucas Street no more in a minute. Except we won't need the county to do Lucas Street for us in a minute. That's the only thing.
That'd be a good.
and, we've got, the zoning committee has got it, I don't have it now, and you don't have it, you just got a copy of it right here, is all you've got, is this. They've had it for about a month, but apparently they said they're meeting today on this. The only reason I put it on the agenda was in case they come up to approve changing this from a residential to commercial, it would already be on the agenda, because they're having their meeting, or they've already had it by now. And, as you can see, they're wanting to put a gymnastics center over there. And it's, seems like most of it's commercial now, it's just got that one residential little spot in there. And, we'll see what they bring back to us when they finish their meeting today, and I'll have it next week. But I just wanted it to be included, but I didn't have to wait any longer. It's the only reason I put it on the agenda this time. And I wanted to say something about the June meeting for this reason. Long before we always rent a house every year, and I'll be out the first week in June. And, Donald has a meeting midweek, I think he has to be at some training in June. Doug's resigning, I was gonna propose that we skip the planning session and wait till the 10th for the June, if y'all are, we all can think about it, maybe next week, but this is what I was thinking. If we could just, we'll put the agenda out for everybody to see, before the planning session, but we won't actually have, we can skip the planning session. We can, and then just go to the regular meeting the second Tuesday, if y'all all agree to that, just have it on the 10th. Cause I don't think there'd be enough people here to have it, especially with Doug leaving, and if, I don't know if Lacey does it, I mean, that would be, I hate this for y'all to schedule one and not have enough people to have it, is what I'm saying. Cause I know I won't be here, Doug won't be here, Dawn won't be here, so that just leaves us Bertie, Carolyn, and Nancy. See what I'm
It's
saying?
fine with me.
It's fine, okay. I just thought it might be.
We haven't
better.
always had planning sessions, so.
Yeah, that's, I just wanted to mention that, if y'all agree, but that was fine, I mean, I'll be back, I'll be back before Monday, the 10th. And then the new budgets, okay, this is, when y'all look at these, and, we went up some in some areas, and lots of it is, you know, and I don't mind saying it, I mean, when I got here, water sewer was really bothering me, and I wanted to give them all a raise, and I got on them, Miss Birdie did too, but there's, you'll see it up in that, and several places, but, they're divided up too, as you look, water sewer, you just keep going through it, and you'll see what's there, it's kind of spelled out for you, and, if you see anything you want to change or think it's too much or add something to, this is why we're giving it to you to look over now. We can talk about it next week. But the front page just tells you the total for each department, and then of course it's all broken down behind you. And you see the totals for everything there.
I think it's great that, we come to the actual, expenditures, because it has been, just, you know, out of whack for a long time. And my whole thing is that, Gina, in all this, I would like to see the revenue side of this. I'd like to see the revenue, we looking at these budgets, and we know we're increasing these budgets, but I would like to see the revenue.
The breakdown,
Exactly.
I have it.
Okay.
I have it, it's just never, I have it actually on mine off to the side, so I can make sure. I'm putting it
Okay.
On the other side for you.
Yeah, to
So
make
you
sure
see.
that, because you can't spend what you don't have.
No, ma'am.
Okay.
And think if this passes, and then we'll go right on into the millage rate, and we'll have everything done before we need it done. So, you know, by June, we'll have everything ready to go, but, we're
Wait on the county, yeah.
we'll be waiting on them, so we'll change that, we're waiting on them, so, I feel pretty good about, about the budget, with the raises for the people that need it. And, and we've increased a little bit, but not a lot in most areas, you can see. And then I've got one more thing in there, which it's just another one of the red line handout things. They're wanting to, the cheerleaders are wanting to do a bucket drive on May the 18th, which we've already determined before that the school covers them at this, but we won't wait till next week. I just wanted to bring this to y'all now. It's on the 18th, they want to do this May the 18th. So that's something we can vote on next week. And then the only thing that I see coming up there is, I know y'all, we've got, well, no, that's not till June, the gym, June and Savannah, they want to go. If you don't have the information, I think I sent it to you, but if you don't, I'll send it again. And I sent y'all a whole bunch of stuff that I don't know if you got your emails yet, but it was from Miss Harriet on the flood area over there. Boy, my goodness, that was so detailed, but I mean, if I was just looking at that, I'm pretty well saying, well, this is gonna happen. I mean, really, she's got it down to the trees. She's got it down to the salaries, everything, and, it's right, I don't know, 25 pages of their pictures and everything for you to see, and that's why I didn't copy it, I just sent it to all y'all. I don't know if I sent you a copy, but I will. And, but I think I sent it to everybody else on the council. And, it's a is really pretty. She kind of goes through the whole thing and, they're working with the people on the prices for the land. So that's where we are right now.
Doing what?
She's working, Miss Harriet's working with the people on the prices for the land, Miss Eleanor, her land, and Mr. Johnson, and then the, person that had the little bit belong to the school system. I have their name and their phone number, I'm giving them to her, so she's discussing that with them. So they gotta come to some, she wanted me to do it, and I said, I'm not doing it, I mean, I can't do that, I mean, it's not my law, I mean, I don't have it. You can give me the information and you can talk to them. I just didn't feel like it's my, I couldn't, because I don't have the money, I can't do it, it's not mine.
I'm a little confused.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking about we're talking flags that we was here for,
Yeah,
over next to Sunset Park.
yeah, we're talking about all
That
of
part
that.
of it.
We're talking about all of that, 23 acres that this service has? I think it's 23, and then one guy has 1 acre, and then Mr. Johnson only has, practically feet involved.
Mr. Johnson,
Yeah.
land is back there or back this way?
I don't know, but it's only, I don't know where his land is, but it's like this much, I mean, it's like a ditch part, they just need to
Right.
right the edge of his land. It's just a little bit, it's not, you couldn't even call it a half an acre or a quarter of an acre.
I walked that, I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
but I didn't know where it was at, I don't really know, but she was, she's talking to all three, and there was only 3 individuals involved, and they're working out what they're gonna pay them for, so.
There's part of that land that I've been told is not to be sold, so they're gonna have to redo their plan?
Well, if they can't come to an agreement on the price, it may squash the whole plan, or it may have to redo it in some way, because Miss Eleanor's is the biggest part of it, and when I talked to her, she was willing to sell it all, but, I haven't talked to her in a month or longer.
I know that there was one lot, and that lot number 4, that lot belongs to, an alumni association.
Yeah, was that the school? I think that was the school.
Well, it's graduates of the old industrialized school, and they're getting ready to cut that timber in there. And, they're gonna erect a building in there. So, but right now, they're talking about cutting the trees down, and they're getting a survey, Mr. Easton's from the survey, coming in. He's the one that surveyed it the first time, yeah.
I guess we'll have to check into that, see what's going on with it, I didn't know.
I didn't know, I know nothing about that either.
Yeah, they bought it back here, I think, Curtis, about 20 years ago, they bought that land.
Yeah, and,
But we all donated money to that land,
Yeah,
buy that
exactly.
land.
Yeah, well, they have revamped the alumni association, they had their 3rd meeting,
I believe it's just an acre, is it?
it's an acre.
It's just an
They're
acre.
getting ready to come in there, he's gonna survey it off, and I think his marker's already out there, but he's gonna come in and put something a little more concrete down, that they can start, cutting the trees off of what they own over there, and, to, start making, do the foundation there.
I guess what worries me, and I'll be that person, weren't they supposed to check the land first?
Yeah, but they had.
Look like
they
they're
had
doing
all-
it backwards.
Well, they all agreed, all of them involved.
The alumni didn't agree.
Yeah,
You see what I'm saying?
The person.
They should have had that down pat first before they drew up plans and all.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion. It just sound like they doing it kind
Well,
of
the
backwards.
gentleman that I talked to on the alumni, and I honestly don't remember his name, but he came to the actual meeting tonight that they, were showing all the, what they were doing. And I asked them when they got through, even Ms. Searcy, and, I said, did you understand what they're doing? Are you in, are you willing to do this? And they each told me they were at that night, so that's what I went
You
with.
talking about the guys, the black guys?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the alumni association.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was all in agreement at the meeting, so, well, he was at the meeting,
Well, they might,
so maybe he changed his mind since then.
they came down,
They come from out of Atlanta that
they
night.
came from Atlanta, most of them in Atlanta. They came down and they said that, they had been told that, their lot was in, I think it was at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or something like that, but they're the 4th one like that. And definitely, that's their desire, it's gonna be the John Cuddy, Alumni Association building over there.
Well, maybe that 1 acre won't make a lot of difference.
Well, they
I doubt it
probably-
will.
It probably won't make a lot of difference as to what they're doing, and, but we need to let her know if that's the case, we'll let her know, but I hadn't heard anything about
But
it.
they've been paying the taxes, county and city on it for all those years, yeah, and they've been collecting money.
Well, yeah, and that's what we need to know, but all I know is that meeting, they all told me they were agreed, but maybe he found out he couldn't do it, I don't know. But, that was my only part in the land part, I didn't have anything else to do with that. But, anyway, we'll see.
I know you can't do anything about it, we can't do it. You know, it kinda makes, to me, it makes me mistrust them if they didn't start with the land.
Yeah.
Can we buy this land? Yes, we bought this land, okay, now we can, you know, do this project, which, you know, I never seen it flood in Reidsville anyway. But this is what they're gonna do, or wanna do.
There's about 130 properties that are flood prone in northwest, or is it northeast Reidsville, Georgia. Just because you don't see it does not mean it's not taking place. These are engineers that are highly qualified and in their expertise and their professionalism. So what we think or what we see or what we don't see isn't what the actual truth is in the matter. They have a procedure and a protocol by which they follow in order to get things done. It may not make sense to us, but I trust them as professionals with their expertise and the specialized equipment that they have to know what they're talking about. We're not talking about pennies here. We've already spent nearly $500,000 on assessments that most people haven't read. There's a lot of money being spent. If we get this grant, it's going to be a beautiful thing for everybody. And I'm hoping that we can all just keep working together to make sure that it happens. So.
Well, we'll definitely, and if parts of it end up not being solved, then maybe we can still go along with what it is.
I'm just going to let you guys know there's quite a bit, an enormous amount of money that is set aside for the acquisition of the land. An enormous amount of money. I won't say how much, I don't think I'm allowed to. But anybody that's willing to sell should be very happy with what they get. And it's up to the seller what the price is. It's not up to anybody else. No matter what anybody thinks or what anybody wants or doesn't want, it's up to the seller what they want to sell their land for. Can't nobody change that. So.
It's pretty much good.
No, I gotta make one more statement, Mr. Unflappers.
But
It's about the truth to me, okay? Our county says it's not a flood area.
It is a flood area. It is a flood area.
We don't pay money for flood area. I'm not gonna sign anything that says we have flood in here, but you don't need me, you got 5 other people. I'm just saying, the whole situation is just so suspicious.
130 properties are flood prone. Just because you don't see it does not mean it's not taking place.
That's all I had to say.
You haven't read anything that proves that it
I don't
floods.
have anything else to say.
You shouldn't have anything to say because you're not making any sense. You don't have any proof.
Jackie, we really don't need to be getting into that. We need to move forward.
we'll just,
130 properties are flood prone. The Army Corps of Engineers have proven it. So,
okay, so let's,
and nobody's talking about flood insurance. It's not flooding enough for that apparently, because it doesn't even show up on the flood maps. We're just talking about alleviating flooding for 130 properties on 143 acres.
all right, next thing. They did come, let me say this, and we had a meeting about this. They did come over, and I think, was you in that meeting, Donna, with Dennis, other than them, were you in it? Okay, they were talking about, if we were gonna put ponds in this area, I'm trying to straighten out what we talked about. They said that you wouldn't have enough water to fill those ponds, and that's when Miss Harriet explained to me that what was taught like a rain garden type thing, like they have all over places like in Atlanta and different places like that, it was really beautiful, and that's what's in that paperwork that I sent you guys, that, there is gonna be holes dug there, and there is a potential for flooding, but these trees that they're gonna plant got like 4-foot roots on them, And then all these other beautiful colored plants, I mean, it just shows you coming up out of a hole like, and, but the whole area is just, you know, it's there. It's not like the water is down there, and if you had a whole lot of rain, I'm sure it would flood a lot of things, but they are saying this is the flood zone. The county said that they didn't understand the part about seeing the ponds there, because there wouldn't be enough water to have ponds, and that's when Miss Jackie explained to me, which I didn't understand, that, you know, at the time, that it's not, they knew that they weren't gonna have ponds. It's not gonna be ponds, it's gonna be these holes that are dug out, that's putting all these, Miss Jackie, like I said, they're gonna be the type of trees that absorb the water, take them up, the roots are really deep down, and you won't have to worry about the flooding. Plus, at the same time, it provides a nice park, your walking trails, your lights, and probably a community center, and it all ties in with your Cersei Park. And it'll make just a really nice area for people to have, ride their bikes, you know, a nice area to walk, you know, and if we have enough, you know, if the people sell their land, I'm sure we'll plan to go through with it. And this is something that'll go on, a process of 2 to 3 years, I think, right? You know, it's not something that happens overnight, but every time I get something from her, it's just like, it's going to happen. I mean, it's like, it's not like if, it's just when, you know, the money's there, and the people can get pretty much what they want for their land if they want to sell it. And I had a long conversation with Miss Cersei, and she was all in about selling hers. Now, if she's changed her mind, I don't know, I haven't talked to her. And as were the other 2 gentlemen at the time. So, you know, I haven't talked to them since, because I asked Miss Heritage to do that. I provided her with the information. So I haven't heard from her since I gave her all the information. So if there is a problem, I'm sure she'll let us know. But then after they get that done, and I think they want to come to a meeting, was it the next one? Or that one, that was June. The 10th? June, okay, they wanted to show, okay. They wanted to show what I guess the progress of what they were doing on the Zoom meeting in June 10th. And I said, that'll be fine. I told them they could come, and we'll be glad to look at it. So that's the last I've heard of it, really. I didn't know there was a problem.
The
So-
ponds are only gonna be 1.5 feet deep. So, and it's 51,900 herbaceous perennials, another 5,000 quart perennials, herbaceous. It's a whole lot of vegetation that's gonna be bought, and it's gonna be really pretty.
Yeah, you know, I couldn't imagine till I saw it, because I've never seen anything like that around here. None of us have property. I haven't, I've never seen anything like that, but it was pretty, and, you know, hopefully it'll be something good for the area, and if it doesn't happen, it doesn't, but I mean, you know, we'll keep on to see how they go. Anybody else got anything they want to add to this?
If you will just read the grant, everything that I've said is in the grant. I know it's 43 pages, but it's important that it's read, even if you just read a little bit at a
Is
time.
that what you sent to us?
Ma'am?
Is that what you sent to us?
Yep, okay, that's where they're at with it now,
Okay.
all of those pages, yeah.
And that's what you're talking about?
Yes, ma'am.
Talking about.
Everything I said is in the grant.
Yeah, and it's in the grant as well, but, I mean, the grant spells out everything, just on it. I mean, you know, but it's all in there, my name's on it, her name's on it. But, you know, to go ahead with these 2 or possibly 3 projects, you know, and I think Darby for sure, this one, I don't know if we'll have any left for downtown, because there's millions that I have to be spent out there. But, anyway, we'll see how it goes, but I hope it goes. I mean, I do, and I hope everybody's agreeable, and I think it'd be a good thing. You know, but we'll see how it goes. But our city engineers will be the one to oversee once they, and I talked to them about it. They said that they would get involved once they were put in the contract, that they, you know, if they're gonna be overseers or doing any work, they're gonna have it in writing, which I understand, which they will do it if it gets that far. Our city engineers will cooperate and work with them, is what the Hofstadters told me. If, you know, when it gets to that point, where they need a city engineer, they will be glad to step in.
Harriet said that she's gonna give the city a lump sum, which will be a lot of money, to address paying.
Yeah, they'll pay all
Yeah.
individuals like that, anybody really that does any work for them, whether it be, I don't know, Rodney or whoever has to do something. I mean, there's money there to pay them, they won't have to do it for nothing. You know, and, that's what they're trying to work out now. They're trying to get the money situation people that's gonna work there for 3 years, they pay for it, you know, and, but anyway, it's a long thing, it's a long drawn out thing, I think through time, maybe we'll understand it a little more, because, you know, it's a lot to read,
Okay.
and, it takes a long time just to kind of pick it apart and understand it. And I think if we just look at it and, see how far we can go with it, and if there is a problem with the property selling, I guess they'll have to regroup and maybe go around that or work around it. But so far, I haven't heard anything from this area, so I don't know if there is or not. But maybe I'll try to know by next month. I'll talk with her, see if there is a problem with the property anywhere, and if that's going to cause a problem at all with anything else. If someone doesn't want to sell or not want to sell, probably won't have that much of effect on it, other than if it's misservicing. That's the only point that would have a big effect on it. But unless y'all got anything else to go, we'll adjourn until next.
I'm gonna-
Have a motion.
wait,
Real quick, I do have
Okay, you got something? Go ahead.
real something, the Sprayfield lease, Donald and, Vicky, I had sent y'all edits on it, it needs to be voted on next week, so we need to put that on the agenda. Sprayfield
Write
lease.
that down.
Old business?
Yeah,
And I just wanted, Jimbo,
Yes, ma'am.
what is our ISO ratings?
3.
A 3?
Yes, ma'am.
I just happened to notice in another neighboring newspaper, city newspaper,
Yes, ma'am.
about their ISO ratings that went down, considerably, and that, it was, enough that people's property taxes were actually coming down. So do
Well-
you foresee that happening with us?
Well,
One day?
the county's at 5, city's at 3. 3 is about the best you gonna get, unless you do a
But the
paid
county's
fire.
5,
With a paid fire department,
okay.
so,
Cause I was just wondering, you know, in terms of that, cause I think one time, so a few years ago, we was kinda happy, we were coming down, but our, I'm sorry, not property tax, it's, mortgage, insurance is not coming down.
Yeah.
That's right, homeowners insurance is not coming down at all, it's going up. You know, that's why I'm just wondering, you know, when will we ever see that actually coming to fruition?
The city one is not coming down. The county might get, the county people might.
Well, insurance premium
City.
bases are going up, period.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, it's just ridiculous. And,
It is.
and to think that we do have a good ISO rating, and, but I just happened to notice in a neighboring city around, was in the newspaper, that there's, ISO ratings were down, and so, their, homeowners insurance had dropped.
I think Glenville's like at a 5, I know the county's at a 5, Collins is a 4. I think Compton's a 5, maybe.
With all of them, I can't keep it straight.
But 3 is about the best you're gonna get, certainly.
With that being said, I think Valdosta, and I have a house in Valdosta, is a 1 of all things.
Yeah.
Full-time fireman.
But they got full-time fire
Yeah.
department, massive equipment, and Valdosta's grown so much over the years, but the insurance rate still eases up on that house.
Well, like-
property values.
Like state road fire, Heinz, you know, I think they're at a 1.
But I noticed that this particular city, theirs had come down,
For
so
us,
they,
3.
yeah,
So
it come down.
insurance rating,
Yeah,
No, cause I've been checking.
Homeowners
for
insurance
years.
had come down.
Because I've been arguing about all this equipment we buy. The city buying all this fine equipment to fight fire with, but it don't help city people with insurance. Now the county, because they got these stations all over the place, it kinda help them. But if you in the city limit, it's not gonna help you. I've checked this for some years.
I think it would, if it went to just say it went to a 9 or 10, I think you would see your insurance jump way up. But at 3, it shouldn't jump up. I know mine, it goes up every year, but still.
Well, I own some property in another city too, and, but it's nothing like it is here.
But we got all this fine equipment now, it got nobody, we got some, fighting for equipment. but it don't help your insurance, I can tell you.
Well, I just wondered.
It's something I've been working on, with insurance companies that.
It'll sure help when your house is on fire. doesn't it?
Yeah, but it don't help your insurance.
I just,
Well,
just asking.
but get it to a 2 or 1, you got to go to a paid fire department, 24 hours a day.
Oh, that's what it fixed, and I was wondering,
Yeah.
okay.
And one day it might be something to think about, having somebody, you know.
Oh, I agree.
Tell you.
It's coming to it.
A full-time firefighter.
Would it have to be, what, 3 or 4 people, or could it be just 2 people?
No, each truck has a staffing
Four
requirement.
people per
4
truck.
full-time people?
No, I'm just asking, okay? But I'll read that article again, it's a neighboring city, and, I read it in their paper.
Oh, I wish Reidsville would go down, but, till you get a full-time fire department, you won't ever see it go down.
3 is what it's gonna get.
Yes.
I mean, and I'll even say this, I've got a house in Putnam County, Georgia. They've got a 4, but still, last year they went up 14% on the insurance.
And you got plenty of water to put it out.
Like, right back of the house.
That's right.
But now that county just bought 2 fireboats. But how long is it gonna take somebody to get to the boat house and drive it around to where the house is?
I'm just asking.
We don't have that waterway thing in the city. But it's, I mean,
It's good.
the city trying to grow, with people coming in and growing, we gonna might need to think about a full-time, get full, you know, but the city trying to grow.
Yeah.
And if you get a, you know, you getting all these people coming in, maybe.
Well, I do know that,
Something to think about.
I do know, and Jimbo, you and I just talked about it a few minutes ago. There's nothing wrong with having a full-time, because I've had some people in some other places saying that they can't find the fireman.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, they
Yes.
can't, they call the fire department, nobody's there. And, so I told them, you know, it's a volunteer fire department. But they do need to talk to someone, and I'm gonna send them your, give them your number.
Yes, ma'am, please do.
Okay.
Has it always been volunteer, always from the
Always.
beginning?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Either without or none at all.
And we're having trouble finding volunteers now.
But if we did wanna go to a full-time, I'll sit down, we'll talk it, and we'll talk numbers.
Yeah, you did, yeah.
I don't think it's not something we couldn't do in years.
That's thinking, exactly, something to think about.
Yeah,
Something to think about, it sure is, yeah.
Help the whole city.
So when there is a fire, I mean, you don't call the fire department, you call 911, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then 911 call you all on your cell phones?
No, they take us out
On
on
the dispatch.
paper, on
Okay.
fire pagers, radios.
Okay.
They call us. Like me, I live about 3 miles outside the city,
Mhm.
so 2 o'clock in the morning, we have a fire. I have to get up, come to town, most times get a truck, or somebody else gets a truck, but.
Well, I'll be honest with you, this is,
It takes you 10 minutes to get there.
well, that's what,
at least.
the guy told me the other day. He said, you can call them. I said, well, our fire department's right across the road, you know, and they said, but yeah, by the time you call them and they, get whatever, then they got to go back and get the big truck and all this and stuff here.
That's right.
The house could be well on the way burning
Yeah,
down.
it might be in the fish creek anyway, you know what I'm saying?
And I'll let me
Or
point
something,
out,
whatever.
Jimbo is right about pagers and radios.
Yeah,
But I'm sitting here, he's sitting here with no radio, and I am dependent on the telephone, so if there's a fire call I'm involved in, or even here, it's gotta come over the telephone
And we got an app that does that, it's called Who's Responding. If the pager goes off, my phone will go off. So, anywhere in the state or another
but
state,
you gotta get to the fire truck.
yes,
You got,
That's the hang up that they was saying. You gotta get to the fire truck, then get to the scene.
and then by the time you get to the fire, you got to get your uniform on.
That's
You
right.
done lost some more time. And if a fireman go to a fire without a uniform on, you need to send him to the house. Send him to the house. How good is a fireman at a fire without a uniform on?
I preach it every drill.
Well, you gonna have to do more than drill, you gonna have to make an example out of somebody. So
Well, I'm just
you
saying,
can't
I'm
fight fire, but yet still be running, you know, what?
I'm just talking.
What is that?
There's been some talk,
Yes, ma'am.
yeah, okay, about it, okay, all right.
So you need to get, I mean, if you got a policy, you need to stick with it some kind of way. Because he go out there and do something, get burnt, cause he don't have uniform on, trying to do something, then the city gonna be liable again.
Well, that's just something to think about for in longevity,
I will.
down the line somewhere.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
think about it, yeah,
We
okay.
do, definitely do. Okay. Nothing else, I'll make a motion.
So move.
Second. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
But